guys, and welcome to the first episode of Key Cakes and Arts. And today we're going to be caking. This is a beginner's tutorial for the first couple steps it takes to completely decorate a cake. We're going to be showing you how to cut, layer, fill, and crumb coat this cake. And this will be the first steps you take before you actually do the final icing. So if you'd like to know how to do this, just keep on watching. Alright, so this part's gonna be mic'd up, or maybe not. I don't really know. Okay, so boom, let's get started with this. You're gonna need two cake layers, 2 thick cake layers, or 3 thinner ones, a cake board, a bread knife, and an angled spatula. I don't really know. A ruler if you're a perfectionist like me, but you don't really need a ruler, it's just something. Obviously, you're gonna need some icing, and you're also gonna need a scraper. You may not need this scraper, you may need it for the second part, but just have a scraper just in case you need this scrape. So, alright, let's get started. Here. Alright, so as you can see for this one, it does have a bit of a dome on it. So first things first, you want to even that out so you can properly stack your cakes. I'm not gonna cut too much off the top. It depends on how tall you want your cake. So if I cut just a little bit off like this, it allows me to still have some height on my cake. But if you don't want as much height, you can start by cutting it right here where this line is, the separation. You can cut right there, but I choose to just cut just to make it even. You don't have to cut it all the way across to make it flat. Okay, you know, guys, I'm a little awkward. Just work with me. Just please work with me. All right, so now here's where the ruler comes in. You don't have to use this ruler. I don't know what I was looking at over there. You don't have to use this ruler. It's really up to you and if you want to. But, you know, it helps you make sure that you actually have an even layer. And what I like to do as well is I like to flip mine over because it gives you an idea of how tall the I don't know. It just
Hey, voiceover Kiera here to help Chef Key out. What she was trying to say was that flipping the cake dome side down makes it easier to cut an even layer. But if you keep watching and pay close attention, you'll see that she in fact does not cut an even layer. Yet, she mentions she's a perfectionist like 3 times in this video. I'm not exactly sure what that's about.
Or you can take this, do it by centimeters probably is probably the best. And this is 5 inches from the board all the way to the top. So then I would cut it at about 2.5 to 3. Did I say inches? I meant centimeters. 5 centimeters, so I'm gonna cut it to 2.5 to 3 centimeters just to get a nice even layer. And try to make sure that your blade stays flat. I have no idea if this is even or not because I can't tell, but you get what I'm trying to say. Try to make sure your blade stays as flat as possible so you don't end up moving it and then it causes your layers to be wiggly. Sometimes my layers be wiggly, so it's okay. So I'm just gonna keep it flat like that and then just work it all the way around. I'm pretty sure my layer might be wiggly because I have not did this on camera before. And then just keep cutting all the way through and rotating like that. Be careful not to slice your hand as you're coming through to finish cutting the cake because that will happen. So just be mindful. Oops. This one's kind of falling apart, so just pretend like you don't see that. I don't feel like measuring, but I'm gonna eyeball it this time. All right, let's do it. Eyeball. Take a cake board, get some icing, and put a good amount in the middle, just so your cake has something to stick to. All right, now we're gonna take this layer that's falling apart and do that. Alright, so boom. This is simple syrup, which is literally just 1 part water, 1 part sugar, granulated sugar to be specific, and I boiled it until it became into just a simple syrup. 1 part water, 1 part sugar essentially just means like 1 cup water, 1 cup sugar, 2 cups water, 2 cups sugar. However much water you're putting in it, you're gonna put the same amount of sugar. So this is just a simple syrup. You don't have to use this on your cakes, but I like to use them on my cakes because it keeps them moist if I'm doing a very detailed decoration. But you know, it's really all just personal preference, but I just like to do it just cause, and I just do it on each layer. So now you've got your layers cut. You should have 4 layers or 3 depending on how you baked your cakes. You should have 4 layers, simple syrup, 1 attached to the cake board. So now we're going to ice this bad boy. So this part is pretty simple. You don't have to use a piping bag. You can just grab a spoon and put it on there. But if you're a beginner, it is easier to use a piping bag because you have more control and you can get an even amount. So I like to start in the, I don't know, you can start in the middle or on the side. I guess that part doesn't really matter. So I'm just gonna start in the middle today. And just use your cake board to your advantage. So I don't even have to, when I was doing it, I don't even have to move this. I just keep it and, you know, just spin it around. Makes it a lot easier, saves you some time, all that good stuff. Now you're just going to even that out. Same thing, the same concept as when you're, damn, I'm not good at this.
Hey, voiceover Kiara here again.
Okay, whatever.
What she was trying to say was
so
letting the cake stand do most of the work to spread the icing out is the same concept we used earlier for piping the icing on the layer.
Icing amount, it really just depends on you and what you like. You can put less icing, you can put more icing. I put however much icing I feel like, depending on the day. Next we're gonna go on with this layer. I like to put the layers, the 2 top layers in the middle, just because it makes it easier to manage. Then you're gonna wanna fill this little gap right here. Here you're gonna do the same thing, keep your piping bag in one place and just, okay guys, now we're just repeating the same thing over and over again. Next we're gonna go on with that second layer.
Okay guys, I'm gonna speed through this part just because you guys can kind of get an idea of the point now. You just keep repeating the same thing until you get to the very top.
Okay, and then you're gonna want to take the last layer, you're gonna want it to be the bottom of one of the 2 layers. Pop it on top, try to make sure it's even all around, and there you have it. So now we're gonna move on to the crumb coat part. Essentially, we have a good portion of our crumb coat done right now, but we're just gonna add a little more icing to make sure all the crumbs are really set and caught in there. Now I will say, once you get better at this, you can actually skip this step and just go immediately into icing. But as a beginner, it is best to just do the crumb coat. It will save you a lot of time and will keep you from having a messy, sloppy cake in the end. Okay, so crumb coat, you just want to just put a very thin layer of icing. It being thin is kind of important because you don't really, it's just to catch all these crumbs. As you see, this is a very crummy cake, so this allows me to make sure I don't have any crumbs in my final icing layer. Okay, so this part is where this comes in. You can either use it or not, but I like to do it just because I like to smooth my cakes out. I'm a bit of a perfectionist. So, alright guys, so that is it. That is exactly how you would crumb coat. And wait. This is how you would cut, crumb coat. Fuck.
Alright y'all, so as you can see, I completely failed at making an outro to this video. But you can enjoy this clip of me awkwardly dancing to whatever song I was listening to at the time. And if you stay tuned to the very end, you'll see a sneak peek of next week's video. I'll see you guys then.
Ooh, my sister texted me. This is what song I'm listening to now.